Many companies use combinations of letters and numbers to identify customers, projects, and departments. In this movie, I will show you how to use search filters to filter your pivot tables based on characters that appear inside of those strings. I will use the search filter sample file, which you can find in the Chapter 3 folder of your exercise files archive. This pivot table contains data about a number of products, listed here by their product code, and also shows how many of those products have been ordered for 3 states, California, Oregon, and Washington. What I'd like to do is use filters that allow me to identify the products that I want to display inside of the pivot table without having to create complicated rules. I can do that by creating what's called a search filter. I want to filter based on the values in the product field, so I'll go over to the pivot table fields pane, position the mouse pointer over the product field header, click the downward pointing black triangle that appears, and then click in the search box. Now inside the search box, I can start typing characters that appear in sequence in the values that I want to display. So let's say, for example, that I only wanted to display products that are part of the play department. Those products start with the letters PL. So I'll start typing P and then L. When I do, you can see that the selection list has been narrowed down to only items that contain the letters PL in that order. 2 things to note. The first is that case doesn't matter. So in other words, even though I type lowercase pl, I have uppercase PL here. And secondly, although it's not apparent from this selection, the characters PL could appear anywhere in these values. It doesn't have to be at the start. But in this case, I have the values for PL, 003, 004, 009, 12, and 30. If I want to apply this filter, I'll click OK. And now I only see items from the play department. I'll go ahead and click Undo to remove that filter. Now let's say that I only want to display items that have the character string 001 in them. Again, I want to filter based on the values in the product field. So click the product field header's down arrow in the pivot table fields pane. Click in the search box. And now, just to show you what can happen, I'll type 1. So now I see BA001, but also PL012. So that's not what I want to do. I only want to display products that have 001 in them. So I'll type backspace, then type in 001, and now you can see that I have products BA001, SP001, and WK001. And when I click OK, Excel uses the search filter to limit the data that appears in the pivot table, so now it is only products with the string 001 somewhere in their name. And again, to remove that filter, I'll just click the Undo button, and Excel restores the pivot table to its full display. Search filters are extremely powerful tools. Just remember that the characters you type into the search box can occur anywhere within a value, not just at the beginning. That's the most common mistake of using search filters.